Terence Bud Crawford takes on Shawn Porter live in Las Vegas, November 20th, and on ESPN Plus pay-per-view. And Terence Crawford joins me now. And Terence, a lot of people have been clamoring for you to have a fight like this, but you said recently you don't think it will silence your critics. Is there anything that you think you can do that will silence them?
Not really. Me personally, it's always going to be, critics. They the ones that, make you who you are, because they motivate me. But at the same time, they never going to give you credit until, somebody else start giving you credit and everybody else start praising you for the things that you do. That's great. Um, that's simple as that. I look at most of the critics, they don't even know too much about boxing. They just, go on what the next person saying or what they read and what they hear. They're not going on their own boxing knowledge. So I really don't too much bother to care what the critics say or how they view me or how they rate me.
Is there anything you still need to prove to yourself?
No, not at all. I believe that, I prove so much to myself that I don't need to prove anything to myself anymore because I know who I am in the inside. So therefore, I just continue to do what I've been doing, and that's winning, 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 and that's it.
Now, you spoke of motivation before. We recently saw Canelo Alvarez become an undisputed champion. When you see an accomplishment like that, does it, renew that fire to be considered, the best in the world yourself?
Well, Canelo, he motivated me in one aspect is to where he did what he wanted to do in that division. He wanted to become undisputed and he made sure that he became undisputed, within a year. So that's impressive to me. That's motivation to me to, go out there and, get these big fights that everybody been wanting to see. And hopefully, down the road, I can do the same thing and become undisputed in the welterweight division.
Yeah, obviously different divisions, as you just mentioned. But, is there any part of you that maybe gets a little upset that your name isn't quite, mentioned at that level at points, or people might not put you on that same level? Do you sit there and say, I'm, pound for pound, I'm as good as Canelo Alvarez or anyone?
Not at all. Like I said, I don't mind, people not putting me on the list or people not giving me my just due. It is what it is. Like I said, I don't lose no sleep over, the naysayers and the people that's doubting me. They got a issue within themselves, not me.
Now, when you look forward to this fight, obviously Porter, very aggressive fighter. Is there any part of his style that you think could give you trouble?
I don't know. We must see. Porter is a great athlete, and I'm pretty sure there's going to be moments in there where he's doing what he do best. But then that's when my experience, my ring generalship, my talent come into play, and I believe I'm gonna get the best of it.
It's been a very interesting year for boxing. Some great fights. We just mentioned Canelo, obviously Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder. Your fight coming up, but there's also been more of celebrity boxing, I guess, if you will. And Jake Paul, he recently told Taylor Rooks of Bleacher Report that he's the best thing to happen to boxing in a century. And even the legends would agree. So when you hear that statement, Jake Paul says he's the best thing to happen to boxing in a century. What are your thoughts?
He can fight a little bit. I give him credit. He can fight. He's been training and working out and sparring for years now. But it is what it is. He's not fighting no legitimately real boxers. So I give him credit for doing what he's doing right now. He's making a living for himself, him and his brother. And, coming from where he come from, he's doing his thing.
Do you think it's good for the sport as a whole?
I don't know. I don't know, because there's a lot of fighters that's putting their life on the line, each time they step foot in the ring. And, they've been doing this for a long time. And for, a YouTuber to come in and, get praise like they world champions over somebody that's really a world champion, it's kind of crazy, just because you got a following.
Now, you haven't been in the ring for a little bit now. I think it was November 14th, 2020. So for those who are getting ready for this fight this weekend on Saturday, ESPN Plus pay-per-view against Sean Porter, what do you plan on reminding people about who Terence Bud Crawford is and where you place in the sport?
Well, I just want to remind people that I'm one of the best fighters in the world. And, that I'm looking to go out there and be dominant like I've been my whole welterweight career so far.